Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, insert where appropriate. I'm Jason Merrill with Blackbird Finery, and I'm going to be showing you some barely appropriate antique sodas and a sundae. And I realized after the fact that there are no bear-themed actual sodas here, so I apologize for that. I think there was a polar bear sundae, but I like the one that we've chosen instead. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the California egg milkshake. And let's see, where's oh, it's here. I'll go ahead and use this actual mixing glass. The original version has a nectar syrup that's used, and there's a ton of different recipes for a nectar syrup. And the one I tried didn't really taste all that well, so I've adapted it a bit to make a more modern version. So first you would crack an egg into the glass. I'm using an egg substitute, so about 2 ounces of your egg substitute works for an egg. So I'll go ahead and put that in here. Set that aside. Next, some cracked ice. So I'm just going to grab a couple of handfuls of ice here. Now, normally the cracked ice would be to break up the egg. Here it's all mixed together. But if you were cracking an egg, you would have the egg white, the egg yolks together, and that would be that would need to be mixed up a lot, slightly scrambled. So the modern version, I'm using 1 ounce of a strawberry syrup and 1 ounce of a vanilla syrup. So we're going to just pour those in together like that. And then per the original instructions, we're going to shake it and then strain it to strain out the ice. Get this lovely pink color here, and I'll use one of these tall fountain glasses. Get this off and strain this in so we don't get as much of the ice in it to dilute it. That away, and then it says finish with milk. So I'm going to finish with milk. And that actually looks pretty good on its own. I'm going to get a straw here and just give it a little stir. But it's got this nice foamy top on it that's really good. Show it here a little closer. But now the important part, the taste test. Oh yeah, that's good. That's so much better than the nectar syrup, which normally has a mix of different fruits in it. And it just didn't, there were too many citrusy fruits in that, and it didn't mix well with the egg or the milk. This, I think, is a winner. So I'm kind of proud of my adaptation there. So I'll go ahead and set this aside. Any questions at this point, since I know we just got started? Because that will give me a chance to shift my notes. Hello, everybody. Let's see. So the next one really isn't a soda or a sundae. it's actually a sundae topping. And we'll demonstrate with just a little bit of ice cream. And, well, I can do two different ones because I've got different samples and you can see them kind of lined up here. Now, it calls for just, well, the original was making a massive amount. And this was meant to be, you know, off to the side in your fountain to be just dipped out on top of ice cream or sundaes as appropriate. So it originally called for 2 whole pounds of walnuts and 2 pounds of pecans, and then you would add powdered sugar to it. Then you would add simple syrup to it. So that's 2 sources of massive amounts of sugar right there. Then you would add a fruit syrup to that with even more sugar to flavor it. I kind of skipped the sugar and syrup steps, but this is just the plain nuts that I got. One batch that was pieces, one batch that was already fairly broken up, and I just, you know, chopped them up myself by hand just to make them a little more uniform. The idea with the recipes like this would be to use up whatever nut bits and pieces you would have left around from doing other things. So this was just a way to make sure nothing goes to waste. So now I have just a lovely plain batch of chopped walnuts and pecans that I can do whatever I want with. So let me do it this way. Just get 2 small plates. I will get some vanilla ice cream. And then if I can get it open. I mean, it's good that it's cold, because ice cream's supposed to be cold, but it shouldn't have a grip like that. Wow. Okay, there we go. I tried to prep everything, but it seems silly to leave ice cream out on the corner for a while. So I'm just going to do 1 scoop on each. Get something a little generous here. There we go. So that's 1 nice scoop there. Well, if I can get it down, flop it in there. And another one there. Lightly cover. Put this back. Because we'll be coming back to the ice cream later. So for the moment, so I've got 2 separate bits of ice cream here on a plate, each on a plate. So use the spoon. The first one I made was with, you know, I split the nuts up evenly, so it's about a ½ cup of each, maybe a little more. This one is a blueberry syrup that I added in, and it was quite literally, where's the syrup? What did I do with the syrup? Oh, well, put it back in the fridge. That's what I get for using things that are refrigerate after opening and then forgetting that. So just a simple blueberry syrup. I got really lucky. This is kind of a local, this is Blackberry Patch blueberry syrup, and it literally has just blueberries, cane sugar, and lemon juice in it. So I poured, I guess you can tell, about half the bottle slowly in with these nuts and just mixed it all together. So the idea is that you have something that's fairly thick and syrupy, but you can just ladle over the ice cream and serve it like that. and that looks really good. Get another spoon here, because I'm going to taste it with this one, since I'm not going to be serving it to anybody else. I think it's safe for me to do that. So let me get a little bit of ice cream here, and some of the celestial topping. Okay, that works really well together. I was really pleased last night after I mixed this up and tried just the nuts and the blueberry, but all of this together, this is a winner. I would serve this to friends and family whenever I had the chance. Wow. This is part of my problem, is I have all of this great stuff that I'm going to have to sample. I think I'm not going to have to worry about lunch. That's there. I need to leave room for the tea later. So my second was with some caramel rather than a fruit, since that works with just about anything. And you can make your own fruit syrup like this with crushed fruits, a little bit of sugar or simple syrup, and then I'm not sure how much lemon juice they had added to that, but I guess that's slightly preservative. In this case, I just used the standard Smucker's butterscotch. Did I say caramel? I meant butterscotch. And I just, once again, I slowly added some into the nuts. This one, however, I just briefly stuck in the microwave for about a minute, because I had these in the fridge overnight. And let's see how this does, because it's nice and thick. And this is the effect you want. You don't want it so liquidy that it just runs everywhere, and you don't want it so thick that it just clumps and stays. You want that inner, kind of inner balance of thick and thin. And this pours a little easier because it's been warmed. I honestly don't think it would work very well cold. So as it starts to slowly melt the ice cream, let's give this a try. Okay, that's really good too. The nuttiness really comes through on this one, a little bit more than the blueberry. But this is nice. I'm having trouble deciding which I like more, which is going to be a problem because I'm going to have to try both again to make a more informed decision. Slide that out of the way. Put that there. I guess now I'll have to hurry through everything so I can get to the ice cream before it melts. Yes, indeed, it is torture. I actually did a bunch of small soda demos yesterday, all back to back, and I got kind of oogie at the end of the day because I had been trying so many different wonderful sodas and couldn't stop. It's hard to take just one sip and move on. So if there are any questions, I figure I'll pause here because I've been moving through this stuff fast. Now so here, I've got just the chopped nuts, and it would make sense to do a large, not necessarily 2 pounds, but a large portion of each, mix them together. So you've got a much larger batch of both the chopped walnuts, chopped pecans, mix those together so you've got a larger batch of nuts. Then you can parcel them out and do different flavors like I did. And if you do things like the butterscotch, the caramel, chocolate, or fudge, as the case may be, those would be better to be kept hot. And then any of the fruit ones, like this blueberry, or if you did, say, strawberries, those obviously, I think it would be better to keep those cold. But you can keep the nuts around, sealed, but you can keep those for a much longer time unadulterated. And then when it's time to, present this at a party or for an event or something, you mix up the individual batches of the different flavors, say overnight, and then before serving, you heat the ones that need to be heated, just take the others out of refrigeration, and you're ready to go. That walnut was calling to me. Okay, so next, we're going to do the comet. Let's see. I just saw the questions about different flavor combos with ice creams. Mixing, well, I guess first, staying with light flavors is always good because each version is going to be a different flavor. If you use strawberry ice cream and a strawberry celestial on top of it, the two strawberries are going to be different versions of the same strawberry flavor. You can certainly mix it. You could do the blueberry on top of, say, a strawberry ice cream, and I think that would work just as well. Certain things just aren't going to mix. Any of the fruit flavors with like a mint ice cream probably won't be as well, but the butterscotch on top of chocolate ice cream is probably fantastic. I mean, vanilla is a good base flavor for any of this, but I'll have to try some different combinations and see how it goes. But the vanilla works as a perfect background for the fruit flavors. In addition to anything else, but I mean, butterscotch, chocolate, those go with just about everything. So the next one here is the comet, and I'll need a larger plate for this. Now, you take a banana, you peel it, something I wasn't going to try to prep ahead of time. Oh, cross. Well, the banana broke, so I'll just have to dispose of this in the best manner I know. And go ahead and take a bite or two. So, it says cut the banana into lengthwise. So, I'm going to try to do it straight down the length along the curve here, because that's what we really want to get, is the effect of the curve. And of course, I have the cutting board for the banana that I put just on the plate. But I think the goal here is to do something like this. So lay the slices parallel on a plate. Place over the banana crushed crushed fresh strawberries. Get some banana off my hands first. So here I have some strawberries that I prepared last night. I just, roughly chopped them up. I felt the term crushed wasn't necessarily meant to be taken literally. So let me get the spoon here. So, does it say where to place the crushed strawberries? Nope. So I'm just going to do them across the whole thing. I did add a little simple syrup to these, but not a lot. So those are the strawberries. Tuck that out of the way. So for the, it says overall pour a thick marshmallow cream. So quickest and easiest would be just to buy some marshmallow fluff and forget that you had not opened this before and peel off the top. There we go. And then just pour over a little bit of this on top of it. Now, presumably, what they used was a little more spreadable. I don't know if you can heat this and make it a little spreadable, but get another big donut. I'll just let that be it. Here's the other spoon now. You can tell I hadn't actually tried this, and I apologize for that, but I had no idea the marshmallow was going to be so sticky. It looks so good. So we'll consider that. We'll consider that spreading marshmallow over it. That is nice. Oh, smells. Wow. Marshmallows and those strawberries just smell really good together. So duh. I skipped the ice cream. I apologize. So the end where I put the two ends together, that's where I'm going to put a big ball of ice cream here. Get one that's going to cooperate. Oh, there we go. Some ice cream on the end. So yeah, I should have done the ice cream before the strawberries and such, but I still have more strawberries. So just pour a little of that on here. There we go. And then it does say cherry on a toothpick. Don't have any toothpicks, but I do have cherries. So let me horrify everyone by sticking my fingers in the cherry jar. Just plopping that right there. But it's meant to look like a comet. Shift that back out of the way. So probably not as appetizing as the description sounds, but it is basically a form of a banana split, as you do have a split banana. But I think it's an interesting way to do that. Oh, I'll borrow the blueberry spoon. Something to clear my palate, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and start on this end, closer to the ice cream. Get some strawberry and banana. Well, strawberry. Let's try this. Strawberry, banana, ice cream. And if I can get a little bit of marshmallow fluff with it. That's good. Good and cold. Since I've had everything except the banana and the marshmallow in the fridge, but those don't really need refrigerating. So, talk amongst yourselves for a while, because I think I'm going to be occupied. Get the cherry out of the way before it goes somewhere. No, I'll be good, and I'll put this in the freezer for later. Because it's a shame to let that go to waste. Okay, so that's the, I guess the Celestial and the Comet were the Sunday portion of the program. Now we'll get back into sodas with the Martian Frappe. And this is another one I felt I had to adapt because the amount of sugar in the original one. Let's see, I'll use this. Another one of these nice parfait soda glasses. Estate sales. There was a prop company here in Atlanta that was going out of business, and they actually went through an estate sale company. So I got basically a bunch of diner set pieces that included a random set of these fantastic glassware from an ice cream shop or diner set. So very, very happy to find that because they have some of these nice fluted ones, some in colors. So yeah, really happy with that. Makes these demos go a little nicer instead of just using plastic. That being said, I'm going to put this one in plastic because I don't have any actual martini glasses, but I think a frappe works pretty good in this sort of thing. But I'll mix it in an actual mixing container. Although, no, I just really need to stir it. But I think I will do it in this. So it's shaved ice, which I have here. Slightly watery. Well, really want to thin this out with the water. So I'm going to get rid of that. If I can, get more actual ice in here. Of course, I used the bigger spoons earlier. Yeah, actually, I'll just keep it in here rather than in the plastic. So, about half full of shaved ice. You want 2 ounces of orange juice. Want, so, 1/4 ounce of lemon juice. Right there. And 1.5 of raspberry. I like them heavy on the raspberry. because it's supposed to be Martian. It should be red. So there's the raspberry. And I'm going to goose it a bit with some red food coloring. Because like I said, it's Martian, it should be red. Let's see if I can get this without getting it all over myself. And then mix that up. And I think that looks appropriately red. Straw. This is kind of watery ice. I mean, I shaved it, but it's been sitting out for a little bit. If it's a more solid ice, this won't be as liquid, and I think that's really the effect you want to go for, is not as liquidy, more of a slushy type. That's good. You know, the original added powdered sugar to it, and that's just not necessary. Now, if you want to make this a soda rather than just a frappe, you can always add your soda water to it. Got my friendly siphon here. Although if you don't have a siphon, little bottle of just plain seltzer works just as well. You really don't want anything that's got extra added flavors or minerals or anything like that, because it's really going to turn the flavor into something completely different. I like that brand because Sifo, because it is just plain carbonated water. But so now it's the same but fizzy. Nothing like that fizz and carbonation on your tongue. So that's it for the demo portion. So I will gladly take questions as I try to deal with the butterscotch nut soup this has become, since the butterscotch was heated. These are probably best served in bowls rather than plates. But I had already used all the bowls for the nuts and the strawberries. And it felt overkill to just add a drop of ice cream to the entire bowl of butterscotch celestial. So I figured the plate was a good compromise. And it's definitely starting to run. Trying to look at the comments here, because yes, this is good as soup, although what I'm going to have to do, what I have here that's quick. Well, that is not quick. I'll do this. There we go. Set that aside to clean up for later. The ice cream is now drinkable. It really would not have been off the plate. And then I can just finish off the butterscotch like this. And if you'll excuse me, I'll go be in a sugar coma the rest of the after day. Or afternoon/day. I'm just going to have some carbonated water here to cleanse my palate. I don't know if I could actually drink powdered sugar beignet flavored coffee. I think that needs to be its own thing. Now, I will say, from personal experience, if you're ever going to eat beignets covered in powdered sugar while traveling, don't do it in a car with the AC on full blast. Just don't. I ended up with a face full of powdered sugar. I'd rather that be inside me than all over me. But that's, personal preference. But yeah, hot summer, AC on full blast, bunch of beignets coming straight out of the bag was a mess. So we have a ton of time. I actually went through these a little faster than I thought I was going to. I've got a couple of other things I can make. Would y'all like to see something not on the menu? Let me, let's see. I'll do a mocktail, because this is something I've enjoyed in the past, and it's hard to actually get the proper ingredients for it, so I jumped on it when I saw them. So, white grape juice you can find just about everywhere. White cranberry juice is difficult. When I first heard about the recipe, I immediately found some, so thought it was going to be easy to get everywhere. It hasn't been. So when I saw this while out shopping for the rest of the materials, I snagged it. So, get. No, I didn't. Wait, no, here, I'll use this one. Realized I had not used the shaker yet. So, in this case, fill a shaker with ice. And use this. I'll do this first. So this is 2 ounces, but I'm going to do 2 of these. So it's 4 ounces of your white grape juice. And then four ounces of your white cranberry in a shaker full of ice. Set this over out of the way. Now I'll get to use some of these. So make sure everything's on really tight. And then shake that. Marvel at how cold the cocktail shaker gets with all the ice in it. Pry off the top if you can. Okay. Well, that's not going to work. Here we go. So, the point of doing it like this is that you can strain it so what you get is the pure, cold, mixed juices without any of the ice in it to dilute it. And then once again, hope I'm not horrifying anybody too much. Normally you would garnish this with a frozen grape, but since I've got the cherries, let's drop the cherry in there. And since this is probably way too full for me to pick up without spilling it, there, I will grab a straw. Now, one of the things I really like about this is that it is so crisp and cold. It's a fantastic summer drink. You know, yes, it's a mocktail. There's no alcohol in it. I'm sure you could add something if you really wanted to. But on its own, it's fantastic just as a nice, cool, say, afternoon drink while you're sitting there on the hammock. Just reach off to the side, grab your little martini glass with the white grape and cranberry juice mocktail. Any questions on that? I just happened to be out shopping. I think I needed, I think it was the lemon juice I was looking for. And in the juice aisle, I saw that they had white cranberry. So I dove on it. And I haven't had one of these in years now because it's been so hard to find the white cranberry. Maybe it's a seasonal thing. I'm not really sure. But I mean, you can find normal cranberry and then all kinds of cranberry blends throughout the year. You know, there's always cran grape and cran apple and anything else you can probably think of. But they never have white cran grape. That you have to do yourself. It's funny, I didn't think about the fact that the cherry was going to lodge in this right here at the stem. But it works. I think it's a rather interesting way to garnish it. So any other questions about 19th century soda fountains? Although these recipes are technically early 20th century, since they're from like 1909, 1915, around that time frame. But Edwardian, certainly. Seeing all this fantastic stuff, but I don't want to get over full and sick. Tropical fruit mixes. There's plenty of them out there, and you can actually get some pre-mixed that are used for cocktails. But anything that calls for, you know, a fruit syrup like this, this is strawberry, but they have, I've seen peach, I've seen mango, and where do I have it? Here it is. So Pineapple. Pineapple is an important ingredient in a ton of these early soda fountain recipes. Once I started seeing it, it was hard not to see it pop up just about everywhere. That's, for example, the Nectar syrup that I had talked about earlier. It was 2 ounces of, well, I guess balanced, because it was normally pints to make a large batch. But it was 2 of pineapple, 2 of raspberry, and then 1 each of orange, lemon, and cherry syrups. So you can, dial that down. If you're making a single drink, you could use 1 ounce of the pineapple and raspberry and then a ½ ounce of the orange, cherry, lemon. And the Nectar itself makes a really good soda. We once made a large batch of that for a test video a while ago at my assistant's house. And we used one of those, just those standard like lemonade jars that has a little spigot on it. I learned 2 things. A, make sure the spigot is closed before you start adding all of your liquids. Important safety tip. And then 2, if you don't take it with you at the end of the evening, your assistant's roommates will drain that container dry within a matter of days. One of her roommates kept coming back like every hour to make another glass. And you would just pour about an inch or so, an ounce-ish, in the bottom of a glass, and then you would just fill it with soda. So I left the jar, and I left, I think it was 5 of these left out of a 6-pack of the Sipho, and they absolutely loved it, and they just went through it like crazy. So that would be a perfect non-alcoholic party drink, is to mix up all of the fruit stuff together and put that in one of those types containers, and then people can add that to a glass, add soda, or add whatever alcoholic beverage of choice, and then top it off with the soda. I'm sure that would be wonderful. I'm allergic to alcohol, so I don't drink, so I have to avoid trying to replicate any of the formulas that include alcohol, because that would not be pretty. I'll tuck the pineapple back there out of the way. I've got a friend who runs some tiki events here in town in Atlanta. When I told him that there was a ton of these soda recipes with pineapple involved, he was like, tell me more. So hopefully I can hook up with them and do a couple of soda demos. It's an event in January called Inu Hele, and it started out as a tour of local in-home tiki bars. They would run a bus, and they would travel to various people's homes that had these tiki bars. And so now they do that along with a convention that has a full dealer's room and all sorts of panels on drinks and tiki culture and art, and it's a fantastic weekend. What else was I going to talk about? I guess I need to plan for more sodas so we can just cut. When we run out of time at the end, we can actually cut sodas instead of me standing here and rambling. I will say that something we thought we discovered on our own. I was having some allergy issues due to the pollen, and ginger ale tends to help make my nose run, the fluids move a little better. Well, I added some lemon juice to some ginger ale. and just stirred it up a little. That was really good. Really good. The lemon cuts some of the sweetness of the ginger ale. And I thought I had really hit on something. And then I discovered that it was known as a ginger ale sour. And I found it in let's see, this was the dispenser's soda fountain guide or soda water guide from 1909. So everything old is new again. There's nothing new under the sun. There's just new ways of combining old things. I still like to think I came up with that on my own, but it is a thing that exists. And it's something that you should be able to get at pretty much any bar. A lot of these, they're not going to have one or two of the ingredients to make these sodas. You know, they'll have the tonic water or the club soda or just plain seltzer water, but they won't necessarily have the flavored syrups that you would like. Or, you know, say the egg white, or they might have eggs, but I don't know if they'll have like egg white or cream, particularly like the heavy cream. They might have half and half. But even then, it might be just in those little, you know, catering containers. So it's nice when you can find something that you could actually ask for out in public. And a ginger ale sour is one of those things. They're going to have ginger ale. They're going to have lemon juice. Or at the very least, just have them, you know, do half a lemon, you know, squeeze it and chop it and put it in the ginger ale for you. Oh, seeing about the Coca-Cola Museum. The one here in town in Atlanta, I went to their first location. I've not been to the newer one. They had a old soda fountain set up, and the person who was part of the tour showed you how they mixed an original Coca-Cola. So they had the glass that had the little line on it. So he put in an ounce of the syrup and then added the soda water and stirred it up. And then instead of letting anybody taste it, he immediately pours it out and washes things and puts them aside for the next show. And it's like, what's the point of showing us how they did it originally without letting us taste what it was like originally? Now, yes, that's going to be the modern Coca-Cola syrup, where they replaced the cocaine with caffeine, and then after they got in trouble with the government, they lowered it from the nearly fatal levels of caffeine to close to what we have now. But the line on the glass, that was how they regulated the amount of syrup that went in. So no matter where you got a Coca-Cola, if the soda dispenser was following the rules, they would put the syrup in to the line, and you would actually watch them do that in front of you. So you knew they weren't skimping you on the syrup. And they also knew what you were getting at this soda fountain in your town was going to be the exact same Coca-Cola that you were getting from the soda fountain 2 towns over. Then they shifted from that to an actual dispensing machine that was close to what you see now, but all it did was dispense the proper amount of syrup. So you went to the machine, you took your glass, you tapped it against the little bar, it dropped the precise, I guess 1 ounce amount of the syrup in the glass. Then you went and filled it with soda from the regular soda arm. Once again, that was to control the amount of syrup that was being delivered so it was consistent across wherever you went. Then they went that other step and they just mixed the syrup and the soda water together in one device. And then that locked the retailer or the fountain into selling just Coke products because it was a Coke branded dispenser. and it would only dispense syrups for Coca-Cola branded products. And that was, part of the lock-in that still exists today. And things like the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine, all of those, you're getting exactly what they want you to get. There's no way to really mix your own. You can mix things based on what they think you might want. And it's also the same amounts of the syrup and the water and everything else that they want you to have. I kind of liked it when a local place where you were going to get food, they had a soda fountain. You could actually tweak the mix. The customer couldn't, but the restaurant owner could, to make it a little syrup heavy. Most would go the other way, so it was a little watered down. But if you ever tasted, a fountain drink from a dispenser at two different restaurants, and it was the exact same drink, whether it be Coke, Pepsi, Sprite, whatever, one might taste a little waterier than another one, and that's because the owner adjusted the mix so that they were giving you less of the syrup and more of the water, which was cheaper. Now, that being said, they get the syrups dirt cheap. What you're paying for are the cups at pretty much all of those places. For example, in a movie theater, when you buy a drink, the reason why the drink costs so much is you're really paying for the cup. The actual liquid that's going in it doesn't really cost the theater chain that much money. I used to work for General Cinemas back in the 90 mumbles, and they were owned by Pepsi. So it was all Pepsi products. And that, when you own the end of that distribution chain, you're not going to charge them anything because you already own everything else up below. So, let's see, any other questions I can see? Oh, saying tea out of lemon and ginger. I have a jar at home that has alternating layers of lemon slices and ginger slices, and then you fill the whole thing up with honey. And then you just pour off a little bit of that and add boiling water to it. It makes a fantastic tea that's great for sinuses and stomach ailments and all kinds of stuff. I normally keep that around, particularly in the winter, because it's really, really comforting to have that. Let's see if I can have some of this without dislodging the cherry. Oh, yep. In fact, I think it is lodged. So I may have to figure something out to get the rest of the juice out from underneath that. So let's see. Any other questions? I will say, if you like what I'm doing here, you can always look at the shop I have off Blackbird Finery, where I sell cufflinks and gentlemen's accessories. At the moment, I don't have any soda-related items, but I will probably start adding things like that. If you are in the Huntsville, Alabama area, I will be vending at the Dragon's Forge Cafe next Saturday, June 5th. So if you want to come by and say hi, I will be there. They will probably want me to show them a soda or two that they can start making in the cafe, so I'll probably do that. And then trying to think if there's any, that will be my first live event in, since November of 2019 was the last show I did. No, actually, that's wrong. December of 2019. And I am looking forward to actually getting back in front of live people. I will still be doing these. I really enjoy doing these. But I really want to start doing live soda demos with people. So y'all can taste these lovelies. I had someone assist me with doing videos of other sodas that I will try to get up on YouTube. I'm everywhere on your various socialized medias as Blackbird Finery or Jason Merrill, but mostly I'm there as Blackbird Finery, so you can hunt me out. I do have a Ko-Fi page. But she said the best part of assisting me was getting to taste everything after I made it. And I think she said her favorite was the Merry Widow. I went ahead and did one of those again. And that's just your grape and your orgeat with cream. And then you can add either egg or egg white, depending on your tastes. And then you just shake all that together. You add soda on top of it. It makes this lovely purplish violetish color with a great, if you used any of the egg, a great little head of foam on top. And it's still one of my favorites. Toothpick for the cherry. Yes, I need to remember that. I do need to remember. There's always something you forget. No matter how carefully you plan for any trip anywhere, there's always that one thing that you forget. And that's basically your sacrifice to the travel gods. That you'll have a safe and happy trip and make it home safe. So I consider that a small price to pay. But I will make sure that the toothpicks I have bought specifically for this purpose actually make it into my travel gear. Let's see. Questions? Yes. Follow me on Instagram. I do post both, say, soda recipes, but a lot of items that I get, new cufflinks and things as they come in. And often they are snapped up pretty quickly that way. So keep an eye out. I've just gotten a couple of lots in, and then I'm going to have to curate what I'm bringing to Huntsville next Saturday, because I'll only have about a 6-foot table to work with. It's a very small event, so I'm going to have to be very careful. It's a steampunk themed event, so I'll be bringing mostly Victorian and Edwardian pieces, and then any of the shall we say unique items that will appeal to that neo-Victorian type crowd, of which I count myself among. Let's see. Yes, I do have my toothbrush. I do have pretty much a travel kit that I keep a separate everything in the travel kit. So it has its own toothbrush and contact lens stuff and everything I'm going to need on the road. Just I haven't been on the road since 2019. So I've had to poach things out of that. I'll need to rebuild back my full set of travel gear. I've got one whole big tote that has, the plastic items that I use, like the straws and the plastic glasses, and that's where the toothpicks should be. So I will make sure they go into that very, very specific tote. And I will mark it that it actually has toothpicks in it, so I'll know where they are. And this, I'm, coming from a residence inn in Dunwoody, Georgia, so I've got a kitchen to use, I've got a dishwasher, I've got a fridge right here. It's an odd arrangement because of the bar, but I think it works, and it means less for me to clean up. because someone else can do that for me. It's easy enough to put all my stuff in the dishwasher and just run it once I'm done. That way I don't have to worry about carting stuff back and forth that's all sticky and slimy. Although I really don't want to leave these celestial sauces behind. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to transport these home, because I think they will frown on me absconding with their bowls. I didn't think to bring large enough containers of my own. So the chopped nuts can just go in a Ziploc bag. That I have plenty of, but I'm not sure about the slightly more liquid items. Let's see. Have a little more of the Martian frappe. That's why I want to do events where I can parcel this stuff out so people can taste them, so it doesn't go to waste. If it's just me here, there's no way I can have, a little bit of everything, because we've got, the Martian frappe, we've got the blueberry walnut pecan ice cream soup, the California egg shake, this is just the soda water, the mocktail, the Comet that I have in the freezer. So yeah, there's way too much of it here for one person to make a dent in. So I can't wait to be able to do events where I can actually pour some of this out into small tasting cups. So any other questions? Now that's the thing about live events, that things are opening back up again. If there's an event near you that might be appropriate for me to appear, let them know. Wave at them and point me out in the crowd and say, hey, I think it would be cool if you brought him in to do some demos and talk about stuff. Because I am now accepting bookings for the rest of 2021 and 2022. I've already got a couple of shows that had to cancel in 2020 that have contacted me to say I'm still, they've rolled me over to their next live show in 2022. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back on the road and seeing folks again. But yeah, I'm rather reasonable in my rates. I enjoy getting out and talking about this stuff. And the more chances, the better. That way I'm not stuck in my kitchen at home making all of these things. I'd rather make them for others. And if you're in the Atlanta area, I would probably try and do an event or two on my own. In the past, we've done a semi-annual eclectic gift mart around the holidays. And I think this December would be a good time to do another one. And we've had a coffee vendor, a local coffee roaster, come in, Drogo Coffee, and provide coffee and tea for folks. We've had the Traveling Tea Time come in and provide all manner of tea goodies for folks to sample and snack on. And then it's just a couple of different local vendors and myself just showing off our wares early December. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is that it's helping to remind me to go ahead and contact the facility and put in a deposit, so I don't end up doing it in late October, early November, when I have much of a less choice of dates and we're scrambling to get everything together in time. That's my normal mode of operation is last minute panic. I would like to try and get ahead of that while I can. Yes, please come to Atlanta and visit. As soon as I have dates, as soon as I talk to the facility, which hopefully will be next week, I'll go ahead and start publicizing stuff. And then if there are any other local shows between now and the end of the year, I'll let you know. I'm theoretically going to be at Queen City Anime in Charlotte, North Carolina in August. And then I am definitely a part of TeslaCon the first weekend in November in Madison, Wisconsin. That's always a must-do event. It's a fully immersive steampunk show. He limits the attendance, and he's actually pretty close to selling out at this point. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. He's definitely got me doing some sodas for him. It's actually, their theme this year is War of the Worlds, which is where I stumbled across the Martian Frappe. And my soda demo is titled "And the Fountains Ran Red." So every soda and Sundae and what have you that I'm going to demonstrate are all going to be violently red colored. Looking forward to that. So I guess I will give y'all back some of your day, unless y'all have questions or want to chat about something. I'm starting to ramble here, so I can't think of anything else to demonstrate within the time we have left. So, yeah, if there's anything y'all want to know, you can always reach out via Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I really post mostly on Instagram these days, but I'm pretty much everywhere. Namely lurking, but I'm there. So if you have any questions that hit you later, just feel free to reach out and ask. If there's any gentleman's accessories you're looking for, let me know. I might either have them or be able to track them down. A lot of unique stuff that comes in goes out immediately, so if I know you're looking for it, I can set it aside. I recently got in some Fordite cufflinks, and that's items made from the chunks of paint left over from the old car factories in Detroit. When they would paint cars, it was a hand spray painted thing, and they would just completely overspray. So those bays would get full of layers and layers and layers of different colored paint that they would have to chip out. And when they shifted to a different method of painting that uses electrostatic, there was no longer the amount of overspray that they used to have. So it is now a rare resource. There's only so much of it in the world, and a lot of that was just thrown away because it was trash. It was overspray. So if you find Fordite items, people make jewelry out of it and do all kinds of interesting art things. What you see is what you get, because there's not any more out there. And so I'd gotten in some cufflinks, and they were snapped up before I was able to put them out on the market. Yeah, like I said, somebody snapped them up, so they're tucked away. They haven't been shipped yet, but unfortunately, I can't go grab them right now. But yeah, it's Fordite. Look up Fordite. It's also known as Detroit agate or motor agate, sometimes Corvetteite or other automobile names. In some cases, it's hard to determine which factory it actually came from, but the first pieces were brought home by a worker from the Ford plant, and so that's why it's called Fordite. So that's interesting fact number 452 for the day. But once again, thanks everybody for allowing me to do this. I always have fun. It's great getting to both research and test, and then share what I've learned with everybody. I can't wait to be able to do this with y'all in person. Yeah, just let me know of any opportunities, and let your event organizers know that I'm out here and available. I'm fully vaccinated and looking for a chance to get out on the road again. So I really appreciate everything y'all do. I love these communities. I think that these events have been absolutely fantastic. I hope they do continue. I mean, I know they were started out of necessity due to circumstances, but I think they've shown that there's a need for this kind of thing. And it certainly helps bring people together from all over the world, which is never a bad thing. So with that, I will take my leave. Once again, I appreciate everybody for letting me do this and allowing me to steal an hour or so of your afternoon and show off the cool stuff I find. So hopefully I will see some of y'all at the tea later this afternoon. And until we meet again, I'm Jason from Blackbird Finery. Thanks again.